comfortable because they swam in the uncomfortable. The Bills advance the divisional round for the 4th straight season. They will host the Chiefs next Sunday. That's right. Chiefs go to Buffalo. Peter, your thoughts on the Bills' commanding win last night?
Yeah, it was interesting because they were supposed to play this on Sunday afternoon, so you have to wait an extra 15, 16 hours, and there's this anticipation. And in that time, we saw things like Dak Prescott get shocked in a playoff game. We saw Matthew Stafford play one of his all-time greatest games and lose. And I'm thinking about Josh Allen sitting in either his home or in a team hotel, and he's just waiting and thinking and waiting and thinking. And everybody has the Steelers losing to the Bills. And like, okay, I've got to... And you know what? They came out, and they came out hot, and they scored 2 touchdowns in their first 3 possessions, and Josh Allen was dialed in. I thought this was important because last week, if you remember, against the Dolphins, it wasn't the case. They threw 2 red zone 2 interceptions, and they had to fight and crawl and find a way in the end. Yeah. This one, it was the Steelers who had to fight and crawl back, but I love the way Buffalo came out. So we're up 21-0 early. We're going to be the ones to kind of set the tone. You're going to have to fight us in our building and do that all the way back. Look, it's hard not to already turn the page. I think the Steelers had a nice season, but it's hard for me not to already think of this Chiefs-Bills matchup and get caught up in not only the majesty of the Mahomes and Allen, but also the X's and O's of this thing. For as good as the Bills were, it comes with a sacrifice. And Kyle, you tweeted it yesterday. Terrell Bernard might be one of their best players on this team right now. He goes down with an injury. Monday's game, they were already missing Christian Benford and Taron Johnson. You didn't have Rasul Douglas. They need all of their guys, I think. And in that win, it's huge. And I love the fact they came out and they're demanding, and the fans, how cool for them to be able to shovel and do the whole thing. We'll talk about shovel and do the whole thing. As if I would be out there at 20 degrees or 2 degrees shoveling. No, maybe not. But I have my lumber jacket on.
That's true. You kind of like a shovel.
Look the part.
They need to get right, though. I need to see that full arsenal on that defense because as cool as it is to be home, it would be all the more heartbreaking because they didn't have the guys to not be able to stop Mahomes this time around.
It was tough. You see those guys go down 3 starters on defense, and some of those guys starting because other guys weren't in the lineup. Tough, but you brought it up. You see the way that game started for Buffalo defensively. And yes, Josh Allen got going. They were up 21-0 because they were capitalizing on what they were able to do on Mason Rudolph and his Pittsburgh's offense. Because you look at the first few drives for Pittsburgh, you cannot win a playoff game if all you're going to do is punt and turn the ball over. And that interception, that last one, came with a fumble earlier in that drive that looked like Buffalo had recovered it, but nonetheless, didn't get an explanation or figure out exactly why it was considered out of bounds. But they were completely dominant to start this game off. And yes, Pittsburgh comes on a run, but in the playoffs, you're down 21-0. It totally took Pittsburgh out of their game. We're looking at Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. You're coming into this game saying it's going to be cold, weather is an issue. They're going to put the ball in those 2 running backs' hands and let them go. But when you're down 21-0 and you're looking up at the scoreboard, you can't do that. You have to go to Mason Rudolph and start throwing the ball all around the field. And I give him credit because he led them to come back and only be down 7 points. And that, to me, was what was awesome about watching this Bills team if you're a fan. Because when they do come back and they are down 7, next thing you know, Josh Allen gets the ball and he goes straight down the field. And then we see that touchdown by Shakir. But the Bills, the last 3 seasons, undefeated when Josh Allen doesn't throw an interception and turn the ball over. He didn't do that yesterday. And they look incredible when he does that. So the question is, the way he plays the game, can he continue to play that type of game?
Gonna have to. I mean, it's just an amazing scene. It was great TV. The visuals were insane. The snow, the Bills fans do this thing where when they score, they take the snow and throw it up like LeBron with the powder and all that. And Peter, you were saying, how Josh Allen was just waiting and thinking and waiting and thinking. The Bills fans were just waiting and drinking and waiting and thinking. We got a late game on Monday. We thought it was going to be Sunday. Let's just run it back. What an awesome, awesome atmosphere. And they just got, they got the real Josh Allen experience. This was Josh Allen porn. This is basically in the football sense, just bring up the run. This run was crazy. Did you not watch this on TV and kind of almost scream or gasp?
Right here I did.
Right here. You're like, oh my God, he's gonna be gone. Jason said he was like Superman. He was like evil Superman. You guys ever mess with Superman 3 starring Richard Pryor? Superman gets drunk. He's like a bad guy. He messes things up. This was Superman 3 Superman. It's also the 2nd longest run by a quarterback in playoff history. Since we're in NFL media, since we're Good Morning Football, do you want to see the longest run by a quarterback in playoff history? Roll blitz. There it is.
Kaepernick against the Packers.
up, Cat?
You know it.
Saturday night game, just killing Dom Capers' defense.
Still running. Look at Charles Woodson. You ain't catching him, Charles. Look how lost the Packers defense is here. They're doing like the kind of RPO, pull the ball out thing. They weren't doing that much back. Look, they're completely running into each other. He's gone. That's the longest run by a quarterback in playoff history. The second longest was last night. It was glorious, 21-0. You kind of started the celebration. The Steelers made it scrappy. It got a little ugly at the end. Fine, whatever. They won. They executed. And now it's just like, bring us 15. Bring us 15 for the Chiefs. Let's settle it. We got business. We have a whole week to talk about it. Crazy, crazy night. And this game is so much. You mentioned the Terrell Bernard thing. It's not just an injury. It's that, like, Terrell Bernard was like, he's kind of like helped out because Matt Milano was injured months ago. Here's where I look at it. Terrell Bernard is the guy who's going to wrestle with Pacheco for 4 quarters. Yeah. Terrell Bernard is the guy who maybe is chasing Lamar. Like, they need Terrell Bernard bad. They're not going to have him. I think it's a season ender. He's on a cart, all that stuff. So they'll have to just rally, or maybe Josh Allen will have to have 6 touchdowns. But we have, like, the game we've been waiting for all year, maybe for many years. Pittsburgh, it's over. But Buffalo, amazing.
That run, and Jamie mentioned it, that she gasped earlier than the acceleration. You said fake slide.
I thought fake slide immediately.
Do you think it's a fake slide or just crafty move by a big-time rusher of the ball?
Let's see it again.
Let's bring it up.
Let's see it again.
I think that's the controversy.
This annoyed me when I first saw it.
It annoyed you?
It annoyed me when I first saw it.
Is it deceptive to the defense where the quarterbacks can kind of use the safety rules in their favor? Right here, little, it looked like everyone, they let up because they thought he was sliding, then he got to pick up these extra ones. Or is that just, hey, he's a crafty runner and he used the rules to his advantage?
What's nuts is there's a play similar to this that he did slide, took a hit, and they got flagged, and they were so angry about it, right? That was a tough call. But look, we've seen the fake slide before. I don't think it's like a massive sell on the fake slide. The legendary one was the one Kenny Pickett did in college when he came out and was like halfway down before.
Like, oh.
I guess maybe it's a little hesitation. Let's say it one more time.
So his shoulders get behind his feet.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
That's the one they called.
But if you watch his body, the ankles, his shoulders get behind his feet on the actual run, the first one that some are claiming it's a fake slide. That's what I kind of watched mostly was I mean, his knees.
I think it's a hesitation. I don't think it's a fake.
If you're a defender, are you annoyed by that, or
absolutely, absolutely? Okay. Sam Darnold did the same thing against the Broncos a few years ago. What's annoying is that when he does get hit later on in that game, Miles Jack's not going. There's no helmet-to-helmet hit. He's going over top of him, and when you have 2 plays like that, it's just tough. And Josh Allen does nothing wrong on the play. Like, run the ball, do what you're doing. Like, even if he is fake sliding it, like, he does a really good job, if that is the case, of not showing it. So I'm not blaming Josh Allen. Like, what the hell? No, it's a good run. It's a 52-yard touchdown run. It's an unbelievable play by him. As a defender, it absolutely sucks. We watched it Saturday night when Mahomes was scrambling. Duke Riley and Eli Apple are coming over, and they both kind of let up because you're not sure. And then you look like a fool because Mahomes keeps running, he cuts back, and now it's a longer run. So I get it from a defender's standpoint. If you have no idea as the quarterback coming at you, do I fully commit and go make a hit, and then I end up with a penalty like Miles Jack did?
I do. Is there a question for, like, Gene's territory? Do you watch our show? Like, is there a flag? Is there a penalty that could be called on a quarterback for baiting?
You'll be called down. But, like, Josh Allen didn't do that. You'd have to, like, really go down like you're going to slide and keep going.
And then keep going.
Why don't you just make a nice clean arm tackle on the way to play? Why don't you just do that and you'll be good to go, my friend.
There